Hello, what's up, everybody? Namibia, the only Edmund Ikewe you gonna know for this life. I'm just joking. But yes, if you're just joining me in this live broadcast for the first time, my name is Edmund Ike, and tonight we're going to be talking about the election. This is not an ordinary election. This is going to be a revolution. So let's make it a revolution. So all my Naija people, anywhere you did around the world, in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, start. If you're outside Nigeria and you won't be able to make it to the election, start talking to your people on the ground in Nigeria to be ready for the election. And we need a massive turnout for this election and voting for visionary leaders, no longer APC or PDP or the old guards. We need young, vibrant leaders with vision to take Nigeria to 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 the land of promise, or to the level that we deserve to be in the world, to make Nigeria a place where every Nigerian will be happy to go home, to go back to, and be happy there, and do well and excel in all spheres of life. As I mentioned in my last video, Nigeria is the only place where Nigerians don't do well. Nigerians, whenever a Nigerian leave Nigeria to a different country, you see them excel exponentially. But in Nigeria, it's a struggle. So, and we need to change that, because it is time. It is time for revolution. It is time for revolution. So arise, my fellow Nigeria. Arise, my compatriots. Arise anywhere you dey, be Hausa, it be Igbo, it be Yoruba, it be Fulani, it be Ibibio, it be Ijo, it be Igala, it be Beniman, it be Abo, you be Efik, it be Kanuri, it be Anang. Anywhere you come from, any tribe, any ethnicity you associate yourself to, you are a Nigerian, and you should be proud, and you should rise and make your vote count. We have 53 days left to the election. 53 days, that's 1 month and 3 weeks left to the 2019 presidential election, and you should not be found sleeping on that day. You should be found out there casting your vote. So that is what this broadcast is about. It's about every Nigerian, calling upon every Nigerian to seize this opportunity of 2019 as a revolution, to have a massive overhaul of our political system, to have a massive overhaul of the leadership structure in Nigeria, and get in fresh idea, fresh vision, fresh mindset, and people with the will, with the determination, with the zeal to take Nigeria to the level it deserves to be in among the nations of this world. Nigeria, they keep saying, is a giant of Africa, but it's been a sleeping giant, and it's time to awaken the giant once again. It's time to keep moving to the right direction, because we've been moving backward. I tell you, we've been moving backward. Time has come for us to stop stepping forward in the right direction. So before we talk more about the election of 2019, I just want to give you a little bit of history of various election and voting practices in Nigeria. When you talk to a Nigerian and say, our vote no go count, what's the point of voting? It doesn't count. It has been true over the years that Nigeria haven't have a completely free and fair election, but we're hoping that changes soon. So, and it's going to change, but it's going to take me and you. It's going to take everyone with their hands on the deck, and to move Nigeria to the right direction, so that we can attain to the level of having a free and fair election. So let's start with 1999, because that is the latest origin of the democracy in Nigeria. The latest, that's not the first origin, obviously. The first origin of democracy is when we gained our independence in 1960. We were the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and after the coup of 1966, we fell into the military rule, and our democracy was interrupted. And in 1979, that democracy was resumed again, that is the Second Republic, and it was interrupted again in 1983, and and, and in 1993, 1983, 90, and 1993, and then finally it was resumed, which is the latest in 1999. So, but I'm gonna start the election polls of 1999. So in 1999, uh, we had about, I believe, 57.9 million registered voters that year, and only about 30 million voted. So a little over 60% came out and voted. And you know the outcome of that vote. Obasanjo won with 18.7 million, and Olufale won, lost with 11.1 million votes. And come 2019, Obasanjo running for a second term, he with 61 million registered voters, and only 42 million voted that year. So that's about 60 something percent of people came out and voted. So and come 2007, 2007, we had 61.5 million registered voters, almost similar number of registered voters in 2003 and 2007. And Umaru Yar'Adua won that election with 24 million voters, and Buhari 6.6 million voters. And by the way, in 2003, it was Obasanjo versus Buhari, and Buhari was 12.7 million, Obasanjo was 24.4 million. So, and as I mentioned in my, I think one of my videos, when I gave a little bit of history of the voting practices in Nigeria, I mentioned Buhari has been running for election since 2003 in Nigeria, and he finally won the presidency in 2015. So in 2003, he ran against Obasanjo. In 2007, he ran against Umaru Yar'Adua. And in 2011, he ran against Goodluck Jonathan. And in 2015, against Goodluck Jonathan again. And he finally won. So let's get back. I just want you to understand how many million registered voters we've had each of the elections since 1999. As you have seen it, it's almost in the same ballpark of about 60 million registered voters. And so, well, in 2011, we had 73. So it increased from 73 million registered voters in 2011, and only 39 million of those voted. That's about a little above 50%, 50 something percent of registered voters voted. And Goodluck Jonathan won with 22.5 million votes, and Buhari lost with 12.2 million votes. And in 2015, which was our latest election not too long ago, we had just people, registered voters dropped. I don't know what happened. From 63 in 2011, it dropped to just 67 registered voters in 2015. And guess what? Only 20, just very low, about 40 something percent of registered voters voted. So only 29 million people voted. So less than 50% of the registered voters voted in 2015. So, and that was the election that Buhari won. Buhari won with 15.4 million votes, and Goodluck Jonathan lost with 12.8 million votes, so almost 13 million votes. So this is the elections, the amount of registered voters we've had from 1999 to 2015. So now we have an election coming up, the 2019 presidential election, and number of registered voters confirmed by the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, had declared we have 84 million registered voters, about 84 point something million registered voters. So that's higher than 2011, and definitely way higher than 2015, the last election. So So you see, we have increased. Some people say, oh, more people have awakened and registered to vote. I don't think it's like more people awakened and registered to vote. It may be the case, but also the population of Nigeria have been rising and rising. So more people in the country as well. So that might also be a reason why we'll have more registered voters this time. So now we want this number of registered voters to actually translate to like good turnout. That is one of the reasons I'm making this video, to encourage massive turnout in this coming election in 2019. Just 1 month, 3 weeks away, 53 days away. Election is in 53 days. I want this to sink in. It's not too far away. It is right at the corner. January is right at the corner, and then February 16th is the election date in Nigeria. So keep that in mind and prepare to go and vote. Carry all your family members, your friends, encourage everyone to vote. Start talking, start a conversation, and we'll have to come out a massive number to vote, because the more turnout for the vote, it's going to be very difficult to rig the election, which has been the problem of elections in Nigeria. People, that's why it's been discouraging people from voting. So, oh, why do I vote? Why should I vote when at the end they're just going to rig the election? So I don't want people to have that mindset. Yes, they're going to try to rig the, that's confirmed. They are going to try to rig the election, but together, when we work hard and work towards preventing that, we can prevent that. We will come out a massive number, because when there is more voters, it's going to be difficult to rig the election. So that is one way to prevent the rigging of the election, coming out a massive number to vote. I'm going to talk more about other ways to prevent the rigging of the election. And so the other way, it's the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which was supposed to pass earlier this month. But of course, if you don't know, you should know that the President Muhammadu Buhari rejected signing it. He rejected to assent the Nigerian Electoral Act Amendment Bill. It's supposed to be signed, but he refused to sign it. So, and you may be wondering, what is the purpose of this bill? What is this bill going to do? So this bill was supposed to help improve the transparency of the elections in Nigeria. And it's going to improve or enhance the use of card readers. If you remember, if you paid attention in 2015 election, Nigeria used card readers. That is why we kind of have, to a great degree, we had a free and fair election in 2015. Unlike the stories we have in 2007, 2007, it was massive rigging in 2007. Even the President Yaradua himself in 2007, he agreed that yes, the election that brought him to power was rigged, wasn't done properly. So, and he did actually put effort to make sure that elections in the future were free and fair, and that was why the card readers were introduced in 2015 election. So this electoral amendment bill was supposed to make it a law, the card readers, and to increase the use of card readers, and also increase transparencies and increase the chances of having a free and fair election in Nigeria. So that is why people now think, or since President Buhari refused to sign the bill, that means him and his government, or his party APC, are actively planning to rig the election, because he refused to assent the bill. He rejected the bill four times, with excuses to change. And the last time he rejected it this month, his excuse was that he acted according to the powers vested upon him by the Constitution. So he acted according to the powers invested in him. So I don't know, is that abuse of power? I will left I'll leave it up to Nigerians to decide. But still, we are optimistic. We are hopeful. We're going to have a free and fair election to some degree, as if we work together. Because let's think about. I've mentioned one way that we can improve that by coming out in large number to vote. Because another thing is that to have many eyes looking at the polling units. In Nigeria, I think we have over 100,000 polling units for the elections. So we need observers in every unit. And that was what happened in 2015 that helped improve the election outcome. There were observers in all polling units, especially Sahara reporters. Sahara reporters, like, they collected the results in every, or maybe most polling unit, and reported their results. And that prevented them from rigging it. Because what happened, okay, this is how the election polling works in Nigeria. So they have people go to different polling units all across the local government area, all across the states, and vote over 700 local government and 36 states. So there's this over 100,000 polling units are spread around. So people go to this polling unit, and when the polling unit collect the polls, all the votes of the people, so they count it. They actually counted at that polling unit, so they have a result for that polling unit. So what happened? They're going to send that result from that polling unit, or from different polling unit, to a collation center. So there's a collation center collating, or that's managing all the polls from various polling units within a particular region. So these collation centers, so the result get transferred from one polling unit, or from a group of polling unit, to a collation center. So it is between that transport from a polling unit to a collation center, that is when majority of the rigging happens. That's when they start adding more votes, adding more ballots. The ballot that wasn't supposed to be there, that is, the parties are gonna add those ballots and rig the election. So, but if observers report the result from each polling unit, then it prevents the chance of any person or any party trying to add extra ballots on the way to the collation center. That will prevent that, because now we already know the result from that polling unit. You can, if you know, oh, from this polling unit A, we'll have 10,000 votes on the transport to a collation center. It will remain that 10,000 if we already declared that number. But if we don't declare that number on the way to the polling unit, some mischievous politicians from an opposing party can add other ballots, and before it ends to the collation center, you're going to hear 10,000 votes becomes 15,000 votes. That is how rigging happens. So we're going to declare the vote. So we encourage observers, Sahara reporters, step up again and do what you did in 2015, and other independent NGOs, please step up and take the pictures of the result from each polling unit and report it before they start moving them to collation center, to prevent rigging in that transporting the result to collation center. So that's one way of doing that. So, and I'm hoping that people rise up, organizations that want Nigeria to move forward, individuals that want Nigeria to move forward, step up, take pictures of the whole process in 2019 to make sure the results are accurate and calculated accurately, and free and fair of rigging. And we can do this. We can do it. So do not tell yourself that we cannot do it. We can do it. I know people are discouraged because we've been going through this for 19 years, since 1999 we declared that, oh, we are coming back to democracy. So 19 years of rigging of election can make people wary and make people tired and make people give up on the whole process. I am encouraging you this hour, this moment, as I speak to you, as you hear my voice, be encouraged that we are going to try to change the system, because this is a revolution. 2019 election, it's not just an election, it's not an ordinary election, it is a revolution in our beloved country, Nigeria. And I want each and every one of you hearing the voice, the sound of my voice, to awake and be part of this revolution, and make sure every vote counts and we don't have additional votes that are added into the process. And we want more turnout. More turnout is going to change. As I said, that was one of the number one way to prevent rigging. Massive turnout. In the past, since 1999 to 2015 elections, we have had between maybe 48% of in the top 40 percentile to 60%, a little over 60% participation. So we want to make this election, this 2019 revolution, let it be at least 80% turnout, 80% participation. Right now we have 84 million registered voters. So we need at least, I didn't convert the percentage, but let's say 70 million come out and vote. Maybe I'm pushing it. Okay, 60 million. 60 million of the registered voters should come out and vote in high number. That will be making history. This is how history is made, and we can do it. So 84 million registered voters and 60 million comes out and vote. That is massive. That is huge, and we can do it. So come out and vote, and in high numbers, and take pictures of your of the result of each unit. Whenever they declare the result from that unit, take pictures, make videos, so that there will be recording of everything to prevent rigging. This is ways to prevent rigging. I know people are so much discouraged with all the primary, like Lagos primary, APC primary election, and how talks were causing people to vote to move from the line of opposition party to vote to the other opposition party, and the rigging in Osun State election, the rigging in Ekiti State election, and the rigging in Imo primary, APC primary elections, and even PDP primary election. So even in the primaries, party primary, the big parties, APC, PDP, they are even rigging within their own parties. So, and they are planning rigging in the national election. So, and we are going to fight this and prevent it from happening by being on watch. Be on watch, my fellow Nigerians. Be on watch, all you Nigerians, and change our story. Let it be a revolution. I say it again, let it be a revolution. So want you to come out in massive numbers to vote and make your vote count. And if you're in the diaspora and cannot vote, and you cannot come back to vote because of one reason or the other, encourage your friends in Nigeria, encourage your families in Nigeria to come out and vote for your candidate. And it should be a young aspirant. That is what you're going to vote for. And I'm going to endorse your candidate in my next video, which is the first Sunday in next month. The first Sunday in January, I'm going to make a video endorsing a candidate. And because if you've watched all my videos, you see I've been mentioning my top five, my top five young presidential candidates, and I'm gonna endorse one of those top five on my broadcast on Sunday, January 6th. So stay tuned, stay alert, and keep watching. So, and keep encouraging one another to come out and vote massively. And so, and now that you've been awakened, now that you've listened, now that you've heard this, there are many people out there that haven't heard it yet. So it is left for you to share this message. It is left for you to share, take this word out there, encourage people to come out massively. It's heartbreaking when you watch interviews and watch polls in the street and see people who say, oh, I don't want to vote because my vote is not going to count. Or people saying, oh, I don't want to vote because there is no better candidate. But there are better candidates. There is Omoyele Sowore. there is Kingsley Mohalu, there is Fela Dorotoye, there is Tope Fashawa, there is Obi Ezekwesili, there is those are my top 5. So there is all this good candidate with brilliant ideas, with visions to move the country forward. So you cannot give an excuse that there are no better candidate, or give an excuse, oh, it is the two of lesser evil, APC, Buhari, or PDP, Atiku. No, we don't want that anymore. We shouldn't want that anymore. They have been in the system and have ruined the country, our beloved country, our home country, our ancestral home. So please, please, please move your vote to the new candidate, and the new candidate, not just the new candidate that have a chance of winning. And if you're watching all my video, you know the new candidate, the only new candidate that has a chance of winning among all the new candidates. So use your brain, think critically, and be smart with your vote. Vote for a better Nigeria. Vote for a new Nigeria. Vote for a revolution in our country. Make our country a better place with good healthcare system, a country that is secure, that will squash Boko Haram and squash insecurity in every sector of our country, in every section and in all 6 geopolitical zones. So this is very important. So arise and vote. Arise, my Nigerian brothers and sisters. This is the time for revolution. This is not a time to sleep. And so arise and vote. The election is at the corner. 53 days away, just 53 days, 1 month, 3 weeks away. February 16th is the date, 2016, and you should not miss out. You should come out and vote massively. So as you've heard me, you've heard my voice. Once again, my name is Edmund Ike, and I will be endorsing a candidate Sunday, January the 6th. And I'll do part 4 of the series of Show Rec and He won the 2019 presidential election after that, and the part 4 is going to be in February. And part 5 is going to be in February. So keep sharing this video. I want to hear your voices, your opinion on the comment section. And if you are watching this video for the first time and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And join the family, join the conversation, and hit the bell button so that you can get notification when I come online, and or when I drop any message or stuff like that. So hit the bell button, not just subscribe. You hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button and the bell shaped button. Hit that. And start commenting. I want to read your comment. I want to respond to your comment, and let's keep the conversation going, and let's keep talking about the revolution that is about to happen, the much needed revolution. We need this to happen, and it has to happen. Nigeria has been backward for so long. Most of the countries that got independence with Nigeria, they are far ahead of Nigeria, and we are so blessed with resources. Just not just natural resources, but human resources that we have not been using. Today I was reading the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, and we have from people from age 15 to 64. That's a working age. That was classified in that by the Bureau. That was the working class. About 115 million people that is among the working class, and only 69 million are employed, like full employment. That means over 40 million people don't have full employment. That over 40 million people in the working age don't have full employment. That is horrible. That is horrible, and it needs to be changed, and it can be changed when we have the right leaders. So vote wisely and stay tuned for my other videos, and keep sharing this video. Share this video. Let it get to as many Nigerians, millions of Nigerians all over Nigeria and all over the world. Make sure people start thinking, make conversation about the election. Tomorrow is Christmas. So talk about it in the Christmas dinners, in the Christmas parties, anywhere you go, keep talking about it until people stay engaged and stay tuned and stay interested in voting and in moving this country in the right direction. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, stay awake, vote right, and keep sharing this people here with me in America.